this meeting to order. Roll call.
Councillor Lehman.
Here.
Councillor Larson.
Here.
Councillor Keithley.
Here.
And Mayor Swanson.
Here. Report from department heads. Public Works is not here. We've got fire and ambulance. Hi, Ted.
Hello. How are we doing tonight?
Good. How's everything across the street?
Oh, jumping. Keeping busy with some stuff. Some of our purchases are coming in. Our turnout gear that we've purchased last month, I believe, or the month before, has come in. So we have some gear there. There's a change that's going to be happening with ambulances. What it is, there's a different type of reporting system.
Okay.
And we're going to, it's a new program. It's called BUHLJAN162018. And what it is, it's being state mandated. Everybody across the state has to go to this by, I can't remember the date. Do you remember? Is it 2019?
Or 19.
2019, but we're getting a jump on it. We're going to go active February 1st of 18. We want to get going on
Next month?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've already had training on it one night. I'm going from there. We did have a computer crash on us last month. We had an emergency. It just completely crashed on us. We had it in. It's old. It's outdated, which is why I'm here to ask you to be able to spend up to about $1,000 out of the ambulance budget or an ambulance fund to get a notebook type iPad. We're looking at different things that's going to be more compatible. So this new system is more user friendly. It's more thumb use and all this type of stuff. Picture capabilities of taking a picture of face sheets, scanning.
Right.
It's all right in one thing. Making our calls much faster, quicker turnaround, get out of there, get back to the hall, be available for the next call. And
How old is the computer, Ted?
it's only a few years old, but we bought it secondhand.
Okay.
So we did bring it in, we did have it gone through, and we got it up and running as an emergency spare.
Okay.
But that computer we're not gonna get rid of it. We're gonna move that over to the fire side of stuff for our fire scene, for being on scene for different things. So I guess what I'm looking for is a council's approval to spend up to $1,000 on a iPad, case, and external keyboard. So.
Okay.
Make that motion to, for out of the ambulance fund or budget, $1,000, that we're up to $1,000 for their new iPad, computer, keyboard.
Accessories.
And support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay? Or, I'm sorry, no, I'm an aye, I'm not an A. I didn't get a good night's sleep last night, I'm sorry. Anything else you want to?
Yeah, I do. I think.
That might be it.
Also with the National EMT, we also have to recertify it. We have to have so many hours of outside training outside of our own department. And what we have is there's a couple of conferences coming up within, I'm going to say the next 6 months, and actually I believe one is within the next week. And so what we decided as a department to come to you with is that we have certain stipulations that a person has to meet to request to go to one of these. A dollar limit, I believe it was up to $350 a person. I think that's what it was. But what we're looking for is reimbursement for these. We have 2 individuals that would like to go this year, and we'd like to be able to get the council's approval. That would also come out of the ambulance fund as well.
Okay. You've got the monies in there for all of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's for, where is the?
There's one in Duluth, and the other one is going to be down in the cities.
So hotel or whatever they need.
No.
In this situation, the person that's going to the cities is going with somebody else and from another department, and it's all covered.
Good.
So it's basically the classroom, and if we can get early registration, price keeps dropping down.
Oh, okay.
So
you need up to $350 per?
Can we do it at $350 for now? I don't think it's going to be that much.
Okay.
Honestly.
So up to $350 per person?
And 2 people?
2 people.
I'd make that motion for 2 of the people from the fire and ambulance?
From the ambulance.
Ambulance. To go to the seminar for a cost of up to $350 per individual.
I'll make that motion.
Support? Okay.
I'm not staying.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, and 1 abstaining. Okay.
Other than that, that's all I have.
That's it? Okay. All right.
Ted.
Thanks, Ted.
Thank you, Ted.
No engineering. Have our attorney tonight, anything?
Just what's on the agenda, Mayor.
Okay. Long-range planning and zoning, we'll have to reschedule,
Yeah, I think we were supposed to have a meeting last week, but
Yeah.
but somebody forgot to appoint a couple people whose terms expired, so we couldn't have a quorum. Sorry about that. That was my bad. That was my bad. Recreation Board,
we had a meeting last night. We approved a secretary appointment, made February plans for winter frolic will be on February 24th at the skating rink from 11 to 2. And we'll have hot dogs and hot chocolate and popcorn. And then
and games.
games, yeah. And then just talked about some summer events and stuff, so. Our next meeting will be February 12th at 5:30 here.
Okay. Library Board meets this Thursday. Oh, long-range planning and zoning is one board. BETA meets the end of the month. Sheriff,
The only thing from the sheriff's that I haven't received a bill for January yet, but February schedule, they got 10 shifts for the month of February, and they're all filled.
Excellent.
all right. Clerk's report?
Just a couple things. We have our CBDG interview tomorrow at 2:45 for our Seville Whiteside. Presentation went well back on the 9th, so our engineer Jamnik and myself and possibly the mayor will be there tomorrow for that. The new website is up and running now, so feel free to take a look. There are still a few adjustments, but we'll get some more content in there, but it looks good, and the people I've showed it to have some positive feedback on it. And also at the previous council meeting, like I said, Councilor Marcus asked about rink attendance, and I did have Keith drop off. Basically, you're looking at about 7 to 10 kids during the week and upwards of 20 on the weekends is kind of what they've been seeing with the weather.
And for as cold as it's been, that's pretty good. There were some frigid nights that I was surprised to see the kids out who were out. All right. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Council additions to the agenda. I have 3, actually. Appointment to the rec board. That would be you, Brianna. And appointment to the library board and appointment to BETA. So I'd like to add those 3. I should have done them at the last meeting, but I didn't get all my responses back right away, and then I just forgot about us on long ranges. Sorry about that. Minutes?
Citizens Forum?
Oh, yeah, Citizens Forum. Does anybody want to get up and talk to us? Yes.
That's me.
That's you, again.
Yes. Well, I'm Brianna. I live in town. I haven't met all of you yet. I have a safety issue I'd like addressed
Okay.
regarding the Judson Pit hiking trail and the park. Snowmobiles and ATVs. I know they've always gone through there and that's just the way it is, but it's a designated hiking trail and it's a safety issue when I walk around there with my dog. I already take precautions. I wear blaze orange, my dog's in blaze orange, but at any time someone could come around the corner and hit me and kill my dog. Yeah, and they seem pretty surprised to see me there.
And it is actually posted around the
It
pit
is.
that
And I think that's one
it's not
thing
motorized.
with the disc golf that was gonna be worked on was some type of barriers to keep some of them out of there.
Yeah, to make it more
So it-
friendly to the people who are just in there to recreate.
And kind of
On
winter
foot.
crept up, but I assume they didn't get those
Well,
barriers
there's
in place.
one. So there's the general hiking trail sign that you guys have seen forever.
Right.
And then they put one on a tree when you come in on the trail from the park. And I've already had some kind of intense conversation through social media about how the motorized sports are perceiving it as maybe just not that section, or the sign doesn't really count. Someone even said, they mentioned the sign on Facebook, and then someone commented, well, that's just for cars and trucks. So, people are just set in their ways and they want to use it for what, it's not designated for that. And I'd just like you guys to do whatever you can to raise awareness and make it safe. More signage, putting the rocks back in the trail.
And that's one thing I know they were talked about, a gate.
Right,
On
I
one
think that
portion.
next spring when they
And
get going with
rocks.
it.
I know they moved a few rocks to work in there,
Yeah,
and maybe that's creating a problem too right now.
When you guys are talking about the gate, we're happy to volunteer and help build one. Zach has experience in mountain biking and some of the gates that they use there for their mountain biking trails and things, so we're happy to help.
well, we'll let them know at the disc golf course because they're always looking for volunteers to help in different areas. But for the winter, I don't know that there's a lot we can do, Brad, outside of publicly bringing it to the public here in this forum, and it'll be in the minutes posted at the post office. Our law enforcement doesn't really get back on the trails much.
No, but we were gonna, and talk last night that we would talk to the sheriffs and see what they could do to patrol the park, and because I guess they're running over the equipment at the park too, so.
Yeah, they're going right through the pavilion and even up where, the actual slide and things are. If they could just stay to the edges of the park and travel just where they need to,
Get to go where they're wanting to go.
where their designated area is.
Exactly. And I believe that's how the ordinance reads too. So.
That's all I have, thank you.
All right, well, thank you. Consent agenda minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the January 2nd regular meeting.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Claims?
Make a motion to pay the total AP for claims, $119,506.98.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Number 1 on our agenda is the dishwasher at the senior center, which I think is why a couple of you fellas came over.
My name is Mark Mackey. I'm volunteering at the senior center for coffee maker / cleanup, whatever. And I talked to Johnny Marcus, council person, just to get some numbers together. The dishwasher, we just had a gentleman check on it. We had little problems with the exhaust smell in there from only half the burner was working. The machine is 30 years old. Last year, the year before, they replaced a board and a motor. And we talked to one of the gentlemen before, they come to Ecolab to check out the machine. He says the armature that does all the spinning for washing and all that's going. Things are going, and the controls right now are really bad. We got problems with one of the controls won't shut off when it gets up to temperature and things of that nature. And talking to Johnny, he says, well, get some, numbers as to just replacing the center section, not the stainless steel, all the stainless steel tables, not the reheater for the rinse cycle, which brings your water temp up to legal temperatures. And we got that portion out. And we had a gentleman from Hobart that sent us the quote. The top of the quote was $12,749, and that comes equipped totally with a new rinse heater and the whole works, which we don't need. What we need is that's $9,950 is the actual dishwasher itself, and we have the electric rinse heater that's there.
Okay.
And the stainless steel, like the tables and all that other stuff, the rest of it's Ecolab. That with the freight cost and installation comes to a little, under 11,000.
Mark, how are they getting by right now?
Right now, we get it up to temperature, we have to shut it off. otherwise it cycles through. We keep our exhaust fan going so that we don't get exhaust buildup in the building. So we're running, all the heat from the building is getting sucked out through the exhaust vents too at the same time.
When
Before
you
we
run
didn't
it.
have this problem because of the, the burner and stuff were working accurately.
Yeah.
We put 428, I think the last. We had Hobart up here and we put between the stove and the dishwasher, $489.11 was paid by the seniors to repair what they did there. They took a look at the dishwasher, they repaired the oven, which is fine now. I mean, everything's working on the oven. But the dishwasher itself is now quite a problem. And, the senior citizens have been putting a little money back into the building itself. They've, this last summer, they put out $1,233 to have the floors redone, totally redone, stripped and re-waxed and the whole works. So they're trying to keep the maintenance of the building up for what they use it for. And they just got hit now. AEOA stated to them that they dropped them from their food service license. So now the senior citizens are putting the license under their name so they can have their evening meals and things of that nature with it. So that's another expense that they're picking up too. And that's why we're coming to ask for a little help in funding this source because it's a little out of our league. We have a lot of functions coming up, a lot of funerals and stuff of that nature that come in and use the building.
That was going to be my next question. How often do we need to use that
Well-
dishwasher?
Rudy has all those numbers.
I just went through the schedule from last year. We had 13 funerals. And that's, the ladies here, when we have a funeral, they put on a meal. It isn't finger food. And, and a couple of them, they had the services there even. 9 family parties, had 3 showers, that's either wedding showers or baby showers. Meetings, Trentini Club is one that meets there quite often. The SWAP also has some meetings there. And let's see, special events, we had 8 of those. The Honor Guard put on a burger bash, and SWAP also put on a burger bash there. And others, so that totaled to 8 special. We had one wedding, the whole wedding was right at the center. And Mark and I have been teaching firearm safety for 1,000 years, but we have 7 of those sessions every year. We have 9 evening meals, and that's open for anybody who wants to come. And and then I almost forgot to smear tournaments. There's smear games every Wednesday, and we've had anywhere from 20 to 35, 36 people come to those in the evenings. So really, I think we're using the building quite a bit.
Yes, the building gets used, but a lot of those events you probably don't need the dishwasher for though.
No, but usually the funerals and the meals, they usually use our silverware for that and the cups.
Right.
Yeah, so we need that too. Yeah, and a lot of these others like showers and meetings and such as that. But this is just I want to stress that we are extremely grateful to the city for the use of the building, but we are trying to hold up and take care of as many expenses as we can.
Well, and Rudy, another thing that our auditor has brought up is we've got to get some sort of an agreement on paper with the senior center. We had to do it with the curling club. We have to do it with the Boy Scout camp where there's an understanding of, what's expected on both sides and everything's written down. So nothing's taken for granted, and that'll be a meeting that we'll have to have in the near future here too. to,
Oh, yeah, we welcome that. We just want to,
yeah,
we want to make it known that are not unaware. We are definitely grateful to the city, but we also want to point out too that we're trying to hold our own on
right,
this.
right.
We're,
You guys have done a great job for a number of years over there.
yeah, we're really proud of what we're doing there.
Yeah,
And we appreciate it. And then in the mornings, every weekday morning too, there's anywhere from 6 to a dozen people coming down there. Gets a little hectic once in a while when you have 3 different conversations going on around the same table, and everybody's, huh? But no, this is that, and I think you have a breakdown on last year's expenses went in your handout.
right.
And
Well, and I think, we've got some money put away for the senior center building, but it's not gonna be enough to cover this expense, but
yeah, this, it kind of came out of the blue. We were thinking maybe $4,000 or $5,000.
yeah, it's kind of a shocking sticker price for a
Yeah.
dishwasher.
Or it's like anything you put a commercial on it that doubles or triples the price.
I think,
Yeah,
you wanna speak to this?
Yeah, I'm also looking into some grant opportunities to see what we can do to, that's gonna benefit
Offset the
all
cost.
sides. I know there's some USDA grants, there's some community innovation grants, but I think the important first step is for all of us to sit down and figure out exactly where we're at and then move forward.
Yeah.
So I will.
I'm sorry.
And one thing that we're talking about with this particular dishwasher, the footprint is exactly the same. It's the same model. It's just updated on some of the electronics and such as that. So there shouldn't have to be any other remodeling done. Slide this one out and slide a new one in.
Is there, and just a question, I guess, do they make, or did you ask it?
It's the same make and model.
Like a rebuild kit for them, or a
Well, we were wondering about that too.
There's a lot of probably what, the 11,000, probably half of that is in the stainless
Yeah.
work itself.
Yeah.
Sometimes I make a motion, Brian, you could check on a couple more quotes, because this is gonna be over $10,000.
Yeah, this dealer is from Cloquet. It's the only Hobart dealer I
Yeah.
could find in the Duluth phone book.
Okay.
Other than that, I got a call one time from Hobart, I don't know who was in the cities, and said, would it be all right if we send a salesman up to talk to you? And I said, fine, bring him on. I haven't heard a thing from him.
Oh,
So that's about all I have, and any questions you have, Mark, or I can answer most of your questions.
Is it working for the short term?
It's working for,
We're working with it, and that's why I want to bring this
yeah,
forward to you.
Right.
we're kind of nursing it along now.
Right.
okay. Well,
It's gonna come up, shortly, that I even had the fire department over there one day with their
Meter?
meter to test how much exhaust was actually getting in the building and stuff.
Yeah.
too, so.
and so far, it's not a safety issue.
It's not a safety
We're
issue
just
as long
losing a
as
lot
the
of heat.
exhaust vent is going.
Yeah.
Once you shut the exhaust vent off,
Yeah.
like I say, right now, in the wintertime, you're sucking all the heat
Right,
out of the
right.
building too at the same time.
Is
Well,
it
it
not
sounds-
venting, or what?
It's, the burner itself is getting to the point where it's just not complete combustion.
Yeah, not reaching heat.
It's so old and stuff that the holes are getting widening out and everything else. It's not burning completely before it goes out. So you're getting that exhaust and stuff in the building.
Well, it sounds like we've got 3 steps to go through at this point, and 2 of them are on you, Ryan, to look at the grants and any other quotes we might be able to find, and then to sit down and pound out this agreement too, so that we've got everything in line with, where everybody's responsibilities are and how we move forward with that building. We'll get at this soon. We'll get at this.
As I made a motion to have Brian look at a couple of quotes for that, more quotes, a couple more quotes, so.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll get back to you guys.
I don't know if this would be the time to ask too, but, we got 2 new computers through that Blandon grant, and we're just wondering what we'd have to go through to get hooked up to the internet now.
All right.
I think that's something we'll have to check with access with. I think we can.
Right.
That should be pretty simple.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so I will.
Ryan will look into that for you. We've got this great new clerk, he's great on everything.
Sorry to put more work on you.
No, that's what I'm here for.
Can you go on dial-up?
Thank you, guys. All right, a resolution accepting donation. This is from the city of Kinney for $1,000.
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 18-12.
This is for the general
I'll
operation of the
support that,
Buhl
yeah.
Kinney Senior Center, yeah. All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Roll call?
Councilor Lehman?
Yes.
Councilor Larson?
Yes.
Councilor Kuechly?
Yes.
Mayor Swanson?
Yes. Matthew, resolution and offer. So we need a motion to accept the offer from the Matthews for $4,500. They accepted the counter offer we made.
I'll make a motion that we accept their offer of $4,500. And they're also agreeable to pay for the sign in exchange for renaming the road also. So I will include that in the motion.
I'll support.
Any further discussion?
Where did they come up, or where did the name change come from?
This is her family's name.
There's, something with her
Well,
family.
we talked about it, they'll pay for the sign.
It was an unnamed street, and it's just that one little section there. And they know they have to pay for the street sign itself.
Is there any, does anything to be registered with the state on the street name, or?
No, not that I've seen. So.
I think the signage should comply with the other signs in the city of Buhl.
Right, yeah.
Consistency.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Did we have support on this motion?
Jim?
Yeah.
Me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, okay.
Jim made a
I made a
motion.
motion.
And you supported it.
Yes, he did.
All right.
We'll get to see it.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, this is a rough one. Sorry.
It's already been a long year.
All right, resolution authorizing conveyance of real property. This is for that same piece of property we're talking about.
I make a motion to accept resolution 1813.
All in favor?
Support.
Motion carried. Roll call?
Councilor Lehman?
Yes.
Councilor Larson?
Yes.
Councilor Kuechly?
Yes.
Mayor Swanson?
Aye. This resolution authorizes the mayor and clerk to execute a warranty deed to the St. Louis County Recorder. This is also on the Matthews property.
Make a motion to accept resolution 1814, authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute warranty deed to the St. Louis County Recorder.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Roll call?
Councilor Lehman?
Yes.
Councilor Larson?
Yes.
Councilor Kuechly?
Yes.
Mayor Swanson?
Yes. All right. We're waiting for a resolution from our attorney for,
This particular resolution we have to table because we will have to have a public hearing
hearing first.
for the
Okay.
easement.
All right.
I spoke with Clerk Permanence and looking at it further, we have to follow the law, even though it seems kind of ridiculous. You still have to follow the law that it's got to be 2 weeks published notice. There's going to have to be 4/5 vote. So with Councilor Marcus gone, everybody better be here at the next council meeting.
And approve it.
And approve it, because if there's only 3, it'll have to get tabled. And the other thing is that usually you notify everybody in the plat. Well, there's nobody in the plat. It's all owned by the city of Buhl, so it seems kind of ridiculous, but you still have to follow the law. And then we set the hearing tonight, and I don't know if 6:15 on the, your next meeting is what, February
6th, I believe.
at 6:15, and I assume nobody's gonna show because City of Buhl owns all the lots in that plat.
Right. And so we'll set our meeting. I have a motion to set the next council meeting for 6:15
What would be a public hearing?
for our public hearing before our council meeting. And then also to advertise, right?
Yep.
So we need a motion to advertise and to have a public hearing.
Also move on that.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We need one as well to table this, or?
I don't think so. We took
You
the
put it on for the
necessary
next
action.
agenda.
Okay.
You're gonna be able to act on it, assuming there's nobody opposing it at the public
Right.
hearing.
Right. All right, I need to make a couple of appointments to long-range planning and zoning. Stuart and Frank Fabish's terms were up, and they've agreed to continue on. And Jean Matthews would also like to serve, so I would like to appoint the three of them on to long-range planning and zoning.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, we need to have some repairs done on the boiler up at the school, boiler number 1.
Damper motor.
We have a quote for $1,533 from General Heating.
Oh, it needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And we already owe the 458, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, and essentially, anybody you have coming out to take a look at that boiler is gonna be $450 to $500. And General Heating's been the one that's always done repairs.
Make the motion that we spend $1,533 to have General Heating fix boiler number 1, damper motor.
I'll support that.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association dues. Our dues are $1,105. Right.
Oh, no.
No, $1,164. They're up just a little bit from last year.
I'll make a motion to pay $1,164 for the Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association dues.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Looking at a letter of support for fire EMS. This is for Combined Cities opportunity to apply for grants. Ryan, you want to speak to this a little bit?
I attended the shared service meeting. They're looking for a grant of how basically all these shared services can benefit all the cities involved. And basically, as part of the grant application, they're looking for a letter of support from the council for the city's fire and EMS. So basically, just looking for...
The more cities that sign on to it, the better chance they'll get federal dollars, grant dollars, for each of the communities that are signed on
Is this
to
thing
it.
getting on what's in the home, right?
Yes.
Yes,
They don't want no money yet?
they don't want any money yet. Basically, if it comes down to where they're approved for the grant to do the study, I know the city of Virginia kind of did a little bit of a breakdown of what it would cost. The city of Mountain Iron, it was like less than $500
Right.
to actually go for, if you wanted to be part of the grant. But this doesn't say that we're going to give them money to do the grant. It's just basically for approval if we get the grant, and then we'll go from there.
So I know I was talking with Josh about this, and the reason why he didn't go was because some of the area departments like Evelyn, they're just not getting into, so I don't know where we want to stand with Virginia on this, so.
Yeah, I mean,
If they're gonna be coming asking for money,
We can say no. We're not obligated to do anything. I simply went to the meeting to provide information, and this is.
Right, and the way it was pitched to us was that because they're doing this as combined communities, they have a stronger possibility of getting federal grant dollars, which would then be appropriately divided among the towns that combine together to go after the monies.
Exactly.
But if you go alone to the federal, you can pretty much forget your chances. They want to see you combining with neighbors.
And that's one of the things that we look at it, because if we go into it, Virginia, and everybody goes into this.
Are we locked in? Is that what
Well,
you're?
Is Virginia gonna take over our?
No,
No, everybody's remaining.
that wasn't the way it was pitched to us, Stuart.
That's the scary part for us. That's what we've.
The intangibles.
There's gonna,
I mean, it would make more sense for us to go with Chisholm and Hibbing, but we haven't heard anything of them going after this sort of a,
I'm just.
Block community.
It's just more informational at this
Right.
point. I figure the more information we have, the better.
the better decision we can make when the time
By writing a
comes.
letter of support locks us into nothing, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Because
Just
we
support that.
signed a letter of support once
Once
before.
before, yes.
And it was pitched to us when that came through that we owed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only flag that,
Yep.
Ted, do you have anything to say about this? Or?
No, I was unable to make the meeting as well. I was actually asked, or I was informed that I was just gonna be fire. I did not know it was gonna be EMS.
Well, we could go for more information and go from there, or we can choose to not take action.
I believe there is another meeting on the 19th.
Is there a deadline? Yeah, that's January.
Due
The
the
application
19th.
is due January 19th, so it doesn't much pay if you go to get more information and we're not committed to this.
Mayor,
Yes?
if we can guarantee that we're not locked in and we're not liable for anything,
yeah, that's my feeling.
Just to get information wouldn't be a bad thing. And if we look at what they have to offer, if something comes through and it's not
as long as we're not stuck on the anything.
right, I think the only way we would move forward is if we see it benefiting in some way.
Yeah.
If it can benefit us, we're all for it. If it can't,
So I don't think there's any harm in writing a letter of support as long as
as long as it doesn't lock us in.
Right.
Contingent on there's no financial obligation that City of Buhl would be responsible for.
I'll make a motion that we sign a letter of support, but we will not be anywhere financially responsible for anything of this.
With regards to just the letter.
A letter, yeah.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Municipal Clerks and Finance Officers Association. I think that we've had a pretty consistent history of encouraging our staff to get any trainings that come up that can benefit them in their job performance. And I commend you on wanting to move forward with it, Ryan. I think it would be really good for you. You'll learn a lot. And Diana recommends it as well. The cost is $40 and approximately $350 for lodging. Oh, cost of the conference is $275. Membership cost is $40. So,
I'll make a motion that we allow Mr. Pervenanzi to take part in this MCFOA annual conference, March 20th and 23rd, or through 23rd in Bloomington. Cost of the conference $275 and then $350 for lodging.
Support.
All right, that includes the dues as well,
Yeah,
$40.
$40 dues.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right,
I'll make a motion.
I got a couple of appointments here. For the rec board, I had talked to Brianna Sturl a couple of times. She did finally call me back, but it was after our last meeting, and said she'd really thought about it and would like to remain with the rec board. So,
Yeah, she was at her meeting last night, her, Monica and me, and Brian, so.
so you didn't technically have a quorum
I guess
because
not.
she isn't a member until we appoint her tonight. Can I have a motion to appoint Brianna Sturl to the Recreation Board?
I'll make that motion.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. The Library Board, I had to look into Frank Fabish's terms because he said he hadn't served 9 years, and by law, you can only serve three-year terms consecutively on the library board. Well, he served 3 terms, but not 1 full term, but he had served over half, and technically that counts. So he wanted to remain, but he can't. We asked Sharon Marks, and she declined. I talked to Marie today. She's a school teacher, a young mother with 2 kids. She uses our library a lot and has helped out with functions, and she would be interested in serving. My term is also up, and I would like to continue on. So I would like to appoint Marie today and myself to serve on the library board.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. And a BETA appointment. Paul, you and I, the way it reads, I mean, they are 6-year terms on BETA, but I reread the ordinance, and when you are appointed as a member of the council onto the BETA commission, your term expires at the end of your term of office here. Now, we were both reelected, and so it got overlooked, and we weren't reappointed after we had been reelected. So our terms were technically up over a year ago. So I would like to just have us reappointed, unless you can reread those ordinance to mean that when the end of your term comes, whether you've been reappointed, because we were reelected before our terms were up. So technically, are we good till the end of this year? I
I
don't
would
know.
just be on the safe side to make a motion
That's
so
what
it's
I
clear.
thought,
yeah.
just to appoint Paul and I back onto the BETA board.
I'll make that motion to appoint you and Paul back onto the BETA board.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. That's it.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.